Welcome back to Man on a Beach. I'm here at Portholland with Trounce and his notes. Trounce, what does the beach mean to you?
Well, it means so many different things, really. I was brought up up about a mile and a half up the road on a farm, and when we were small, coming down the road and seeing the beach, it was always exciting to see what the water would be like, whether it was flat or rough or which way the wind was blowing, really. I didn't spend a huge amount of time on it when I was small because we were busy on the farm and one thing and another. But when we got to sort of 9 or 10, the summer holidays, we used to waste down here with friends, mucking around the old boathouses and swimming and fishing, climbing the rocks a lot of the time. We used to climb the beaches sort of either about half a mile either side and spend the day there, really, snorkeling or whatever. Not much time sunbathing, never had much time for sort of just lying around in the sun. That seemed a waste of time. But we got into all sorts of adventures and one way and another, and when we were a little bit older, we had a boat between us that we used to spend a fair bit of time out on the water and fishing, and we used to mix around with the visitors' children, and a lot of those people still, the people still come back with their own grandchildren now, and only last week I went in surfing with the grandchildren of people that I'd grown up with, that come back each year to spend some time at Portholland, because the beauty of Portholland is it's a small place, and the people that come here on holiday keep it in their minds as a special place and come back year after year after year. And you could say we've only got a small population, but you could on the other hand say there's a huge number of people that have a close association with Portholland, and meeting them year after year is like meeting part of our family, really, and we get to know each other again and what's going on and how the children are getting on, or grandchildren are getting on. In Christmas time we send hundreds of Christmas cards to different people that we only see once a year, but they they're still sort of precious in our minds. You stop a minute there?
Yeah. You know, you were it's still on a minute.
Right.
You said that it changed a bit when you came down the valley from living up there, and your
Yes.
relationship with the beach, is that different now you live here? You're saying about the moods.
Yes, well, now that I live down here, it's a closer, I think, closer association, though you can almost, I don't say you don't notice it, you do notice it, but take it for granted just a little bit more here than you do when you're a mile and a half away, because coming down that road and seeing it, it was always right in your mind, sort of thing. You had somewhere to go, but here you're virtually on it, and you don't have that place to go, sort of thing. There was a friend when I was living up at the farm, bred and brought up right by the sea down here, and when he came up to see us, we always used to say, well, what's the sea like? And he would say, I don't know, I didn't look. And that always seemed strange to us, and I don't think that I would not know what it's like, but I can, I'm not always, if someone was to ask me when I'm away, where's the tide, I would have to think a little bit exactly where the tide is.
Do you want to have a look at your notes, and just because you were saying about that swimming thing?
Yes, that's right. Well, that sort of started off from when we were boys, and we were always in the water, sort of 3 or 4 of us really, mucking about, and the Gull Rock which is I think 3¼ miles away from Portholland, seemed a little bit of a challenge to swim to, though we didn't actually swim that far back then, but just sort of mucked about in the water. And when I moved down here, one summer I decided to swim to it. I think that was about 97, I think. Sorry, 77. And having swum to it, the following year we swam to Gorenhaven, and then from Foy back to Portholland. And that was a tough old swim. That was about 12½ miles, and we had the tide against us coming out of the Foy River to start with, and it held us up a bit. But it took us about 12½ hours to get down here. We ended up back at midnight. So then we thought we might have a go at the channel, having you know, done a few swims like that. Falmouth back to here as well we did. So in 79 we had our first attempt at the channel and ended up 2¼ miles short. The second time it got rough halfway across, and we were nearly shipwrecked, so we were towed back in by an old coaster, which took about 6½ hours to get back into Dover Harbour. And you would think we'd had enough of the sea by then, but the challenge was still there, and if we hadn't actually got across after those attempts, it would have left a lifetime of sort of regret, I think. So the third year, 81, we managed to get across, which was hugely satisfying. It was a great deal of teamwork, really, and a great deal of all the people that came on holiday or whatever used to see me practicing and wish me luck, and they helped me across, because when you get in the middle of the channel and you can't see any other land anywhere, and you can sort of think, well, am I getting anywhere? You think of the people who are supporting you and helping you, and a huge number of people were on my mind then, and they helped me get across.
Should we stop it and then do the poem?
Right.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Or do you want to say anything else first?
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Hang on, I'll turn it off and then come back in a minute.